my game week 12 score predictions of the 2022/23 Premier League season. They're kicking off on Tuesday night, so I have to get this uploaded as soon as possible. Time of recording, Monday morning. Let's get straight into it with the first one being Brighton Hove Albion against Nottingham Forest. Both sides picking up defeats in their last games. Brighton losing 2-0 to Brentford in their last game. Brighton, loads of missed chances in that game. There were plenty of chances for them to come back from that game, maybe pick up an equaliser, maybe even win it. There was a ton of chances for Brighton, but full credit to David Raya and the Brentford defence for keeping that clean sheet. Nottingham Forest, they narrowly lost out 1-0 to Wolverhampton Wanderers in their last game. At home in this one for Brighton, so I fully expect them to win this one. Nottingham Forest not in the greatest of form at all, currently in 20th place, rock bottom of the table. I'm going to say it's going to be a 2-0 victory. And then Crystal Palace against Wolverhampton Wanderers is next. Let's speak about Wolves first. Picked up their second victory of the season against Nottingham Forest. Narrow 1-0 victory at home. Yeah, it's not really changed my mind on Wolves. I mean, good victory, an expected victory against a side that's currently got like the worst form in the league. But coming up against the Crystal Palace side, it'll be tougher. Crystal Palace are at home in this one. Palace, they drew 0-0 against Leicester City, so you could say maybe a little bit of a poor performance by Crystal Palace in their last game as well, because Leicester aren't doing too great this season either. At home in this one, though, as I did say, they managed to beat Leeds United 2-1 in their last home game. So I'm gonna say they're gonna score 2, and Wolves won't be able to score 1. So I'll go for another 2-0 here, victory to Crystal Palace. Next up, Bournemouth against Southampton. This one's going to be a good one. Bournemouth going on an absolute superb unbeaten run. Currently in 10th place in the Premier League. No one expected them to be there at this stage of the season. As for Southampton, pretty poor run. They managed to just scrape by a 1-1 draw against West Ham United in their last game. Question marks whether or not Southampton's goal should have stood. Referee getting in the way of Souček, who was coming in to make the tackle or to make the block from the shot, and yeah, he ended up colliding with the referee, and Southampton had a free shot on goal. But I wouldn't say it was free. There were other defenders around that probably could have blocked the shot. But Declan Rice with that superb equaliser ended in a 1-1 draw. I'm going to go for a Bournemouth victory here. 2-1. They've gone on an absolute amazing unbeaten run, as I just did mention. Southampton aren't in the greatest of form themselves. It'll be a good game, this one. Home advantage in this one. Next up, Brentford against Chelsea. They'll be looking to build on their last victory that they did get. Brentford, 2-0 victory over Brighton, which did come at home as well. They're at home again in this game. Chelsea just come on the back of a 2-0 victory against Aston Villa. Mason Mount with the brace. He's started up a bit of confidence now, which is a good time just before England head to Qatar for the World Cup. We need all of our players on the best form possible. I'm going to say Mason Mount goal in this one as well, and a Chelsea 3-0 victory. Just Chelsea's life under Graham Potter. They're just scoring goals now. They're creating chances. They're scoring goals. When it was with Thomas Tuchel, you still had your chances, but they weren't putting them away. And now they're creating the chances and putting them away. And superb performances by Chelsea. And yeah, I don't think Brentford will stand a chance in this one, although something weird could happen. Football, anything could happen. But I'll go with the most realistic result here. Chelsea should have this one in the bag. Next up to Anfield, Liverpool against West Ham. Of course, Liverpool will be without Jurgen Klopp for this one. He got sent off in the 1-0 victory over Manchester City in their last game. Very surprising result. Makes Arsenal now top of the table by 4 points. So yeah, it'll be very interesting. I still think Man City will still be able to catch up, but we'll wait and see what happens. West Ham side, not on the greatest bit of form. They did play, reasonably well against Southampton, but then again, that is Southampton, and they only managed to pick up a 1-1 draw against them. I do think they'll score a goal here, but I just think Liverpool will want to bounce back from all the, it's not been the worst form, but for Liverpool, it is, if you know what I mean. They want to, build on that win that they did get. It was a good win against Man City at Anfield. They should get all 3 points. It still will be, fairly tight. The struggles will still be there. Jurgen Klopp not there as well, so, yeah, I'll still back Liverpool, though, 2-1. And then, next up is Newcastle against Everton. Newcastle United with a 0-0 draw against Manchester United in their last game. Newcastle United probably should have got a penalty, but then again, Man United probably should have got a penalty. Yeah, at home in this one, St James's Park, should be a Newcastle win. Everton, they've lost 2 out of their last 2. They started to build up some reasonable confidence and some good performances, but then a loss to Man United, and then a loss to Tottenham in their last game. I suppose losing to Man United and Tottenham isn't the worst thing in the world, but against a Newcastle side that have just been brilliant this season, you could say quite a lot of draws in there, but I'm going to go Newcastle 3, Everton 1. I'm going to go for a high scorer here. I think it should be a good one. And then we'll move on now to the final. No, it's not the final 2. It must be the final 4. Manchester United against Tottenham. This one's going to be a big one as well at Old Trafford, where, as I did mention, Man United just picked up that 0-0 draw against Newcastle United. Tottenham currently in 3rd place. They'll be looking to overtake Manchester City now as well, after they've only lost the 1 game so far this season, which did come to Arsenal. I'm going to say it's going to be a draw in this one. I'm not really entirely sure, but for big games, big clubs just tend to unless you're Man United, I suppose you could say, but they're the only team that's managed to beat Arsenal so far this season. They beat them 2-1. They beat Liverpool 2-1. They did get smashed 6-3 against Man City, but against big clubs, they've beaten Arsenal and Liverpool this season, so I think they'll put in a good performance, and I'll go for a draw. Only a draw, but it'll be a good one. 2-2 point apiece. Next up, Fulham against Aston Villa. Aston Villa, 2-0 defeat against Chelsea in the last game. Suppose it was against Chelsea, but they need to start picking up some wins. Against Fulham, that themselves aren't on the best of form. Picked up a draw against Bournemouth in their last game, a 2-2 draw. I know Fulham have been playing some good football, creating some pretty good chances. They've got Mitrovic at the top end of that pitch there as well to score the goals. I think he's up to 7 goals now so far this season after he put away that penalty against Bournemouth. I'm going to back a win for the Villians in this one. I'm going to go a 2-1 away win for Aston Villa. I can just see Villa winning this one. Shock result maybe, but yeah, they're gonna pick up a victory soon. And yeah, I just think this is the game for them. So we'll just move on to the final game now, actually, because the biggest game that would have been playing this week, Man City against Arsenal, has been postponed, which is a shame. That would have been a top of the table clash, that one. But we'll just finish off with Leicester versus Leeds. Not the greatest of ones to finish off with, but yeah, Leeds. A loss to Arsenal in their last game, 1-0 defeats. Not the worst thing. They played really well. Missed penalty by Patrick Bamford in that game as well. Probably, should have caused Arsenal an upset in their last game. Leicester City picking up a 0-0 draw with Crystal Palace. Both sides on not the best of form. Leicester at home in this one. They've started to improve a little bit. I mean, the last home game with Crystal Palace, they drew 0-0, but the one prior to that, a 4-0 victory over Nottingham Forest. They still managed to keep that clean sheet. They can still score goals. I think both sides will score in this game, but I do think it'll be a draw. I'll go 1-1. Nothing too spectacular, but it'll be very interesting to see when Brendan Rodgers' time is going to be up, because I don't think they're going to improve under him at this stage. I can maybe see a slow progress of improvements, as I did say, they've kept 2 clean sheets in the last 2 home games, but I do think this will end in a draw, and I'll go 1-1 to finish off my game week 12 score predictions. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all next time. Bye.